Welcome to Rising Resources. I'm Jeanne Gasparini. I invite you to join me as we explore products and services designed to support humanity on our rising evolution into a more enlightened society. With our collective gifts, talents, and visions, we build the New Earth community. Welcome to Rising Resources. I'm happy that you found us. I am here today in Glastonbury in the sacred Isle of Avalon, and meeting with me today is Kathy Jones. Kathy is the founder of the Glastonbury Goddess Temple, the Goddess Hall, the Goddess House, the Glastonbury Goddess Conference, which I understand is the largest in the world. Mm-hmm. And also, she is a Mother World initiator, creating the New Earth community, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. And that definitely intersects with what we're looking at in Rising Resources. I'm meeting with and talking to various individuals or organizations that are supporting the creating of the New Earth community with and for Gaia. And as I've learned, as I've read, as we support and assist Gaia, she will support and assist us and give us everything that we need to live on her new earth.
Well, she already does.
She already does. That's a good one. That's a good one.
It doesn't come from anywhere else but her.
That's right. She is the source, the
She's
mother
the source
of us all.
Of everything
Yes.
that we have.
So, Kathy, looking at your website, one of the things you appear to be focused on, or your main focus, is bringing the goddess alive today, in the 21st century, in the present. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ask you how you see the goddess being real in our spiritual reality at this time. So much is happening in the spiritual community, people working on their own personal ascension or rising. I mentioned earlier about the rising of the divine feminine, and as you responded,
do you mean goddess? Are you talking about
just say goddess?
Just say goddess.
Just say goddess.
Yeah. So I'd say my journey with goddess began, maybe 40 years ago. So I'm in the last century. I began in the last century, but really. As a child and growing up, I was not taught anything about goddess. I was brought up in a patriarchal society, yes. Patriarchal culture. Yes. I wasn't taught anything about her. So when I found out about her, it was like, well, why don't we know about her? Why don't we know about goddess? Why has no one ever told me?
And how and where did you find out about the goddess?
Well, that's quite a long...
Was that here or somewhere else?
I was living here, and at that time there was a women's peace camp at Greenham Common, a place called Greenham Common, where they were trying to bring in American nuclear cruise missiles, and there were big protests by women, and it was a women's peace camp, and thousands of women from all over Britain went to protest there.
Wow.
And that was one of the first places where I sang a song, which is, "You can't kill the spirit, she is like a mountain, old and strong, she goes on and on and on." And for me, that was the first time I had sung of the spirit as she. And before then, it had always been, well, the earth, yes, she's a she, Mother Earth. And spirit had always been he, and he was always elevated as being better than. So to sing of the spirit as she was a great heart-opening experience for me. And then I began, in the next 13 years, I began to research, write, and reclaim sacred dramas based in changing the stories in old mythic stories that are all based in the masculine, and reclaiming goddess again and bringing her to the fore in these sacred dramas. And these were performed over this time, like 1 or 2 every year in the Glastonbury Assembly Rooms. And they were big community events with maybe 50 people involved each time. And just for, at the beginning for 1 day and then for 3 days at a time. And it would just be this incredible event that everybody would pour all their energy into, have an incredible experience, and then it was gone. And then it would be the next goddess. And it would be like each goddess, it was as if she spoke to me. And I'd never had that experience before. It was like I would see or hear a goddess speaking to me and saying, find out about me, find out who I am. So I began with stories. I'm a writer, so it's natural it would come that way. And in the drama, the performance, the appearance of goddess is very powerful when it's done with true intent. And so these experiences, they were life-changing for many people. And that's how that all began.
Amazing.
As an experience. And then after that, I created the Goddess Conference with a friend, Tina Redpath. She and I wanted to create something that brought together goddess-loving people from all over Britain, artists, musicians, performers, the whole thing. But to do it, instead of having it as a one-day performance, to spread it over several days and to have a great, experience. And the Goddess Conference has now been happening for, I think it's 28 years now.
Wow.
Every year at Lammas.
Wow. And where is it? I'm sorry?
At Lammas, which is around the beginning of August. Lammas is is the festival of the Great Mother. It's one of the seasonal festivals.
Wonderful.
So everything is kind of connected and expands from one thing moves into the next.
Yes.
So there was never a plan as such. It was always about, well, how can we bring Goddess alive again in the world? If I couldn't find her, how do other people find her? And providing means that people can find her and have their own experiences with her.
Now, where do you hold these goddess conferences, world conferences?
So at the beginning they were held in the assembly rooms, and now they happen in the town hall.
Okay.
So the town hall is the big hall in the middle of the town, and it's an event that lasts for a week, and people come from all over the world to participate and present their wisdom, their knowledge, all sorts of things.
What or which goddesses are you particularly attached to or connected with? Are they goddesses from the Isle of Avalon, or they're from other places?
So in Britain, part of my journey was finding out who Goddess is here in this land, in my land where I live.
Yes.
And there are goddesses who are found all over what we call Bridget's Isles, which is...
I've heard of Bridget.
Bridget's Isles. This is the British Isles, is Bridget's Isles. If you say it, you can't tell the difference,
Okay.
So in Bridget's Isles, there are many. When I first began looking, I thought, I don't know, that maybe there's half a dozen. But within a really short space of time, I had found like 500. Wow. And their names are in myths and legends, in the names of places, of mountains and rivers and springs, and it's all there. She is there in all the stories. And then, so they are British goddesses, particularly, because when I first started looking, it was like, well, we don't have goddesses. There aren't, we're a Christian country, we don't have goddesses.
They've just been ignored.
They've just been ignored and forgotten.
Yeah.
So reclaiming them again, finding their stories, and also anything that is recorded about them was recorded by male monks in monasteries who believed in the one God. So you have to look under the story to find what might be the original story. So what are the origins? Who is she originally? And here, particularly, because the threads that connect us to the ancient past,
Yes.
when people, which in Britain is the Neolithic, which is so 5,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago is the last time that people really honoured and adored the goddess in this country.
Mm-hmm. What happened 5,000 years ago that changed that?
Well, over a period of about 3,000 years, there was a wave of change that came from the east, that came from the Russian steppes, it's believed, that came in because of famine, or there's all kinds of theories about why it happened. But what had been peaceful agrarian cultures were overtaken by warriors, and that happened gradually, slowly over. And because we are on the western fringe of that, it took longer to get here.
Yes, I see.
But eventually,
and it was quashed
and
over time.
Everything was quashed or then incorporated into whatever was the belief system of the time. And then when Christianity came in, they also incorporated the earlier beliefs, and where there had been goddesses, they became saints. So you have Bridget, right? So yes. Bridget is recognized both as a goddess and as a saint.
Okay.
So originally she's the goddess of the sun and the moon, and she has awesome healing powers, and she has many things that are recorded about her as goddess. And then Saint Bridget is a sort of reduced form of that earlier goddess of the sun and the moon. Yeah, but Bridget is also a healer, so that in the way things are taken over, they become reduced. Yeah,
put into a form that we can recognize.
You only recognize it because that's what the patriarchal system tells you is to recognize.
Yes. Yes.
Whatever religious system comes in, it says this is what you must believe. So when that's all broken, we go back to what the same kinds of things that our ancestors did, which was to observe the sun and the moon and the movement through the seasons. How she, if goddess is anywhere, she's in the land, she is in her nature, she expresses herself through her nature, through the plants and the trees and how they change through the seasons. So she demonstrates to us all the time who she is. But we have not looked, so we look now. We've been looking for quite a long time now.
So it's basically the ancient indigenous culture, traditions that are coming back alive with the...
Well, we can't know exactly how the ancestors did things, but we can renew our relationship in a similar kind of way of understanding that if we honor the seasons and if we honor her different faces and we do the things we believe our ancestors might have done, because they built amazing sacred sites across this country and everywhere in the world. And why did they do that? And what were they doing? And what were the relation? And all of those sites are in relationship to the movement of the stars in the heavens, of the solstices and the equinoxes and the cross quarters. It's like, it's there. So we have been learning how to read what they left behind.
There's so much that was started this past summer in the cosmos. The astrology. I don't know if that's a word that you use or recognize, or that's just a piece or a part of what you were describing. But there was so much powerful change happening in the cosmos this past summer. And then it seems to have continued. And more recently, there is this beautiful gold dust, for lack of a better word, that seems to be coming down, showering down upon us to help us. From Egypt, the ancient pyramids of Giza, and passing down through our sun soul to us. I mean, just all around us. We're at a point, we're at a pivot point, it seems, where we're finding our own way now. This has never happened before. And we need to find our own way to create the new earth community. And okay, I'll let you chime in.
Okay, so I see, so in my experience, right, over time, there have been these moments where people say, this is it, this is the new thing that is happening, this is the new thing. Mm-hmm. And particularly in Glastonbury, many different groups of people come here and they say, this is it, this is the thing that is happening now. And yes, something is happening now, but there have been many of them, is what I'd say. So I'm always slightly cautious about fashions. You know, it's a fashionable thing as well. Because for me, if you live in Israel right now and Palestine, you are not being showered, you're being showered with bombs. So it's like, get real, folks, as well. It's like, if we are really going to change how things are, be real, you know. It's too easy to go to do La La Land things.
Yes.
Sorry, but
yes,
to do that and not actually take account for what is actually, people are dying right now, you know, from the stupidity of patriarchy.
Yes.
It's happening.
Yes.
You know, it's huge, and it's fueled by arms that are, you know, just so disgusting. You know, the whole thing that is. So you could say, well, there's a kind of pivot going on between those who wish for good for everyone and those who are selfish and self-centered and are seeking money and all that kind of stuff. But if it plays into a kind of them and us, that doesn't work either. But just holding everything in our attention, just as Goddess holds everything in her attention, you know. That's what, yeah. Yeah. So I have a daughter, right? My daughter is very into New Earth, New Earth education, New Earth, all sorts of things.
Community building.
Yeah.
So much of that is already happening here.
Yes.
In all these different eco-villages and systems and permacultures. I mean, it seems like so much of that is already happening here, and I'm just becoming aware of it.
It's happening, but it's like how things sustain and really make change, or whether they are just fashions that come and go, you know. Because you have something that happens, you have something like COVID comes along, and it has very difficult effects for people, and it also has really great effects for people. You know, it has like here in Britain, it forced a lot of people to go, what am I doing with my life? Which is a really positive thing, you know, and
it was a catalyst for change in many ways.
Yes. But again, it's like all these things, it's like something that is apparently really destructive can be this catalyst, and at the same time, if you're at the effect of it, you know, you're ill or you're dead or you've lost
traumatic.
somebody. Yes,
it's very traumatic.
So realism. Yeah.
So Kathy, let me ask you about this. The book you wrote, Mother World.
Mother World, yes.
I saw that and I thought, oh wow, isn't this is just right on the money. So the values for the new Mother World, I guess the values for the new Earth, and honoring Mother Earth as a living being.
Yes. And placing Mother Earth, mothers, and the values of mothering, which are love, care, and support for all life, for all beings, you know, for all plants, all animals, all creatures, in the center of the society, rather than leaving them out on the periphery.
Yes.
Because that's where we are now. Mothers are out on the periphery. We have we've done quite a lot so far. You know, there's lots to do. But when you see how mothers still have to live, it's so appalling. It's, you know, and and the lack of honor, you know, mothers are the only way you can get here. You know,
exactly.
a human mother is the only way you can be on this planet, and mothers are so unsupported,
Yes.
uncared for.
Yes.
And to actually change anything in a big way, if you put mothers in the center and you support them, that changes everything.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
Nurturance is power and strength.
Yeah.
Instead of a sign of weakness.
Yeah,
as
of
we
course.
have looked down on it. You're not that important. You're okay. You're somebody's mother or grandmother.
Yeah.
You're right. It's on the periphery.
Yeah.
And we're bringing it back in.
Yeah. And what is in the center is money, greed, war, violence, starvation. That's in the center of our societies. And it's like, no, we're not having it. No, not any longer.
How do you see these communities, these ways of doing and being, the patriarchal system being dismantled and replaced? And that's what I've seen as building that parallel community. So as this one disintegrates, this one comes in and shows us a new way of being and living.
I think we don't, we are just creating from nothing, just as Goddess does.
Yes.
Comes out of nothing.
Yeah. Creating.
So, creating
Yes.
from nothing. We are
Yes.
creating the new, and not so much worrying about dismantling the patriarchy. It will crumble and die
On its own.
On its own.
Yes.
I think we have an obligation to point things out, what's actually going on, but our work is focused on loving, caring, supporting,
Yes.
healing.
Holding that space.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So Mother World,
Mother World.
how would you describe that? What is Mother World?
Well, Mother World is essentially just a different kind of society,
A different way of being.
a different way of doing,
Doing. Okay.
being and doing.
Being and doing.
So if you take care of Mother Earth, you immediately start to clean the water.
Okay.
You clean the fires. You clean the earth. You know, pollution. You put your attention on cleaning
Yes.
everything up, the mess that we have made, and you know, changing all the energy sources, everything. It's just a completely way. Instead of stripping the earth.
Yes.
Of what you think is valuable to you, you know, you start to take care of the earth, and you know.
Are there any organizations or systems that you interact with that are doing that type of cleaning of the land, so that we have clean agriculture?
There are lots of groups of people, particularly around here, who are, you know, they're organic.
Yes.
There is rewilding. There's all those kind of things, and I think they're finding their way. Everybody's
Yes.
finding their way
Yes.
of
We're in
trying
that
to change.
process.
Yeah, and it's a long thing.
Yes.
It's not a quick fix.
Of course not, but it has started.
It's begun. Yeah.
It just seems that in this area, maybe not just the downtown, but this entire area seems to be focused on regeneration, renewal, a new way, as you say, of being and doing. So you have these pieces and parts that are all happening, and probably has been inspired from the center of the focus on the goddess and nature and Gaia, and the effects of that as it moves out.
Yes, absolutely.
Like a ripple effect.
Yeah, and also lots of people come with different belief systems and different faiths. I'd say that we all exist together. We're not in competition with each other. I'm not, you know, we aren't.
Yeah.
Because this is a spiritual center. This is a place where the spiritual energy is very strong. It's very attractive. It's the heart chakra of the world. So of course, it brings all kinds of people. It attracts all kinds of people, and people come with their hearts wanting to open.
Yes.
And they come with all their wounds as well.
Yes.
And
wanting to be healed.
Wanting to be healed. So
Yes,
it's
and cleansed and purified.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you this, and I don't know if you have anything to share with me on this, but it's my understanding that this is where Gaia's grid, the ley lines cross here,
Yeah.
and in particular up on the tour.
That's one of the places. Yeah.
And they call it the Michael and Mary lines. Now, is that Archangel Michael? Is that Mother Mary? Who are Michael and Mary?
Wow, that's a big question.
Has that ever been pinpointed?
I think you'd find different people say different things.
Well, I have asked a couple of people,
Yeah.
and they're all kind of sort of like
So
you.
they're kind of named. They're named as the Mary and Michael line because they go through St. Michael's churches and St. Mary's churches.
I see. I see.
So before then,
Okay.
it's called a dragon line.
Okay. A dragon line.
Dragon line, which is, and all over the earth there are dragon lines that are energetic lines.
And that's what helps to make this area so powerful. The crossing of those lines, the power that's emanated from it.
Well,
the ley lines.
Well, the power might already be here, and then it emanates from here,
Amplified.
rather than it's the place where they cross. This is where there is an energetic source point, which radiates outwards, and that draws things to it. So it's not that they cross here. It's that this is, well, it's the heart chakra of the world.
Yes.
That's,
Yes. Yes. What else do you want to tell me about the goddess? Which goddess? There's a goddess of Avalon.
So
Your title, excuse me, is Priestess of Avalon,
yeah.
Priestess of Goddess.
Yes.
Okay.
So here, Glastonbury, little town in the middle of Somerset, far away, and it is the outer world counterpart to the other world of the sacred Isle of Avalon. Avalon is the land of goddess, which exists through the veil.
Okay.
So it's a mysterious place. It's an otherworldly place. And here we say the veil is very thin here, so it's possible to pass through from the everyday world into the other world of Avalon. And people have many different experiences of doing that. When you become a priestess of Avalon, you're learning to live in both worlds at the same time. So in the physical reality and also in the mysterious reality. So that they become one.
Now, I'm sure that there are many people interested in how do you tap into or learn more about this goddess way of living, as you've just described. I know that you have a school or you have a procedure if people are interested that they could go through.
So we have with the Goddess Temple, we have Goddess Temple teachings. Okay. We teach people to become priestesses of Avalon, but we have all kinds of goddess-centered trainings and teachings that are here.
So they would have to come here in person. It's not something you can do through Zoom, for instance.
No, we have some online courses. We have some evergreen online courses, and we also have some courses where, so if you want to become a priestess of Avalon, it's a 3-year, 3-spiral training. And if you do it in person, you come 8 times in the year. For the first and second spirals, you come 4 times in the 3rd year. You can do it as an online correspondence training where you come 3 times in a year and 3 times in the 2nd year and 4 times in the 3rd. So you can do it if you live abroad because it's more difficult to commute.
Yes, I found that out.
Yeah.
It's a little tricky.
Yeah, but so we've done it. We do it that way, so you can. We try to make it easier, but we do think people need to come and be here on the land.
Yes,
it's really important to experience the land, feet on the land, and you can't. Or what we believe is you can't learn and you can't experience it if you're not here on the land.
Yes.
If you're somewhere else, you experience something else. You don't experience what is here.
And you do feel the energies. I know I have felt the energies, especially in different places and different sacred sites. I have definitely felt the energies. It's very real.
Yeah, they're very real and they're very powerful.
Very.
And they're very wonderful.
Now, you mentioned that's at the Goddess Temple.
Goddess Temple.
Is there a website that people can?
So we have several websites. We have goddesstemple.co.uk is the main temple website.
Okay.
And we have goddesstempleteachings.co.uk, which is all the courses that we offer. We also, so today here we're in Goddess House, which is our healing and educational center. So this is a place where you can come and receive therapies and healing of many different kinds. Wonderful. Wonderful. I recommend while you're here, come and have some treatments. And it's also a place where groups, you can hire a room here, and there's lots of beautiful spaces here.
Yes.
So we have those, and we have our shop, which is goddesstemplegifts.co.uk, where you can buy paintings and books and artwork and statues and things you don't get in other places.
In your website, it's .co. What does .co stand for? Does anybody know? .co.uk.
Yeah.
Just so anyone who's listening that wants to
.co.uk
to tap into that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And once you find one website, it leads to the others. I mean, the other things that we do is we, in the Goddess Temple, is registered to conduct weddings, formal weddings, legal weddings. So you can have a legal wedding in the Goddess Temple. You can have heart and fasting in the Goddess Temple, and we just do a lot of different things.
Yes, and it's all online. It can all be accessed online.
Yeah.
Okay, Kathy, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to say to overall the recommendations? Any particular personal spiritual practices that people can incorporate? Maybe they are not yet at a point where they can come here to participate. But they'd like to incorporate some things to raise their awareness.
Yeah, so prayer. For me, prayer is really important, is even if you don't know who Goddess is and you don't know what you believe, ask her to show you the way. Ask her to reveal herself to you, and she will show herself to you probably through her nature. A bird will appear, or a tree, or a flower, or a plant. Something will appear. Also, it's really important to be grounded, to feel the earth beneath your feet. So Goddess spirituality is an embodied spirituality. It's about being in the body. Patriarchal religions take you out of the body. Goddess spirituality is be in your body. Know that you are here on the earth, really in your body, because this is where all change happens. Be in the body. So just having your feet up on the floor, on the earth, sending roots down into the earth, curling your toes. Very simple things. Just know you're in a body.
Grounding down with Gaia.
Yeah, grounding into the earth. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And also reaching to the skies. Yay. Yeah.
There is just one last thing. There is so much talk about the light body, our light bodies. And just what you said is exactly what I've learned. We need to be in that light body to connect to all of this.
We need to be in our physical bodies.
In our physical bodies
to connect.
Okay.
Yeah. The light body, you go the light body while it's out here. So I'm not in my body. I'm in my light body. I'm not in my body. Get in your body.
Get in your body.
Get in your body.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Kathy, thank you.
It's a pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I have enjoyed this.